Hey, what's up everybody, it's Axel, and today's video will be talking about the DUNU DK-3001 which is called Brain Dance as well. Long name. This is the carrying case that comes with it. It's kind of a big carrying case, not exactly going to fit in your pocket, but it looks and feels nice. And of course I will post a picture of the other accessories. Just want to show you guys this clear looking DUNU SNS ear tips, which is nice. I like these ear tips. The cable, of course, is a modular cable, comes with 3.5 and 4.4. The lower half is this cloth-like material, which is really nice. It's very soft, it doesn't tangle. The upper half is a bit different. Keep in mind this is an MMCX cable. And let's talk about the IEMs themselves. These are the earpieces. They have this futuristic, like cyberpunk kind of look to it. The nozzle is metal, and I will post a nozzle diameter picture. Fit and comfort is amazing for me. I don't have any issues with the fit and comfort. And with that said, let's talk about the frequency response graph. The first thing you'll notice is that there is a focus on the sub bass and there is a focus on the upper treble. Keep in mind this is a 1DD 4BA 4 planar. A lot of planars. First time for me to see 4 planars in an IEM. So let's talk about the bass, and I will start by saying that it's a sub bass focused, and the sub bass performance is again impressive. You get a lot of rumble, a lot of clarity, a lot of detailed bass response. The thing is though, although the sub bass is textured and I can hear the different bass notes and it's just again very impressive, very clean sounding, I'm not getting the mid bass impact that I'm looking forward to. It's very clean. Like, do you guys remember the Harmon tuck that usually happens at 200 Hertz? Welcome to the Brain Dance tuck, which happens at 150. So there is a thump, absolutely, but not a lot of impact, and it's kind of light in the impact. So I'm not getting a lot of punch, a lot of slam, a lot of impact. Kick drums sound clean. I can hear them very, very well, but again, not having that fullness and impact I'm looking forward to. And when we move on to the lower mid-range, as you can see, of course, the bass here is a bit too clean. Actually, not only clean, it's a bit too clean. So this carries over to the lower mid-range, where a lot of the male vocals, a lot of the instruments sound a bit lean. So let's say, for example, Barry White, Ice Cube, Johnny Cash, and even cello music. These things don't have the body that I'm looking forward to, that fullness, that richness in the sound. Rather, they sound transparent, very clean, very, very detailed and resolving, absolutely. But again, not the full body presentation I'm looking forward to. So some people will like that, and some people will look forward to, like, something a bit more fuller sounding, something with a bit of a warmth, if you will. And the situation improves when we go on to the upper mid-range, where the female vocals sound amazing. They sound transparent, they sound lively, they sound extended, and overall, excellent, transparent and beautiful, honestly. And there is a lot of separation as well in the upper mid-range. But there is something I want to talk about the mid-range of this IEM, because it caught my attention. I found that the mid-range of the DUNU DK-3001 what a name, to sound, I wouldn't say congested. Congested is such a strong word, but I would say it's a bit tight and it's a bit cramped up. Like, things sound very, very close. And there is an excellent level of instrument separation, but everything sounds just closer to each other. Like, everything is just right next to each other, and I'm not getting the sense of space that I'm getting with other IEMs, specifically in the mid-range. Things are different in the treble, but in the mid-range, things are just right next to each other, and I'm not getting that space between the instruments, if you will, that allows them to breathe. So it's definitely a unique style of tuning. And let's move on to the treble, because I have a few things I want to talk about here. This is like handled by the planar drivers, and they do an impressive job. On the one hand, it's a double-edged sword, by the way. On the one hand, we get an amazing level of clarity, detail, and very, very sharp and incisive transients. Excellent transients, fantastic actually. You get a lot of air, a lot of transients that are super well defined. You get a lot of shimmer, a lot of sparkle. The treble is very crispy, very well defined, absolutely fantastic. All right, you get lots of air, lots of shimmer. But the thing is though, it could be a bit of too much of a good thing, where that sizzle actually kind of felt as a bit of an extra sizzle on top. It kind of felt sometimes a bit too much. And I'm a treble sensitive guy myself. When I tested some sibilance test tracks, there was some issues with the sibilance. Sometimes it could be sibilant. The S letter is at least emphasized on some tracks, let's say that. And it could be a bit too much for me as well. Like, it's not exactly the natural treble you look forward to. It's just an emphasized treble. So it's not going to be for everybody. And something else I noticed is that after I listened to it, after some time, that treble boost, while it gives it a lot of detail, I agree, but it could be a bit fatiguing after some time. And after 2 hours, I started noticing that I wanted to take a break from listening to this IEM. This is definitely a unique tuning, you know. It puts some emphasis on the upper treble, which is enjoyable, but after some time could get fatiguing. And again, I noticed some sibilance on some tracks at least. So keep that in mind. If you're treble sensitive, watch out for it, you know. Give it a test before you get it, at least. And again, that treble boost gives a lot of details, so let's talk about the technicalities. And this actually is a very resolving IEM. Detail wise, it's impressive. For the price, it's impressive and can compete with other IEMs in this price range in terms of overall resolution and detail. Let's bring up the technical scale, and I will put the DK-3001 BD let's say close to the Pilgrim, just 90% of the level of detail of the Pilgrim, and even sometimes it could sound very similar to the Pilgrim in overall terms of detail, but the Pilgrim is a bit natural sounding, and I will get to that in the comparison segment, whereas this felt like the detail is giving it that detail boost a bit. Let's talk about the comparison segment. I will bring first the Pilgrim because it has a few things I want to highlight here. The first thing that jumped out at me when I listened to the Pilgrim after listening to the BD, I'll call it BD for short, is that the Pilgrim sounded very spacious. Immediately, that's the first thing I noticed, is that the mid-range, it has that space I'm talking about. Things are not tight as they are on the DK-3001, and it's just very spacious and overall more natural sounding. Again, the mid-bass is there on the Pilgrim, which gives it the impact immediately. The kick drums started having that impact. A lot of the sounds have that bass impact that I'm looking forward to, and the lower mid-range sounded fuller again. I'm getting the full body, you know, the rich sound, you know, the body to the instruments, the proper note weight, all these things started to coming back. The treble as well, while not as incisive as the DK-3001, it still had a lot of detail, but I would call it a natural level of detail. It didn't have that boost. Like, it felt like the DK-3001 BD has that treble boost, which gives it that sense of detail, while the Pilgrim has that air, man. It has the air, and it has the sparkle and the shimmer and clarity, but without sounding a bit boosted or artificial, if you will. That's how I would describe it. If I had to choose between them, I would go with the Pilgrim every time. But some people will like the sparkle, I know, you know, the planar quality of the DK-3001. In terms of resolution, they're very similar, and I would say, you know, like I said, it's very close to the Pilgrim, so that's not an issue. But the stage is different, the naturalness of the sound is different. It's just the Pilgrim is more organic and just fits me very well, so that's that. Another comparison I want to include is the DUNU SA6 Mark II. This is the red and blue edition. Just looks gorgeous, man. Just check that out. Just looks amazing, even better than the wood version. Obviously, it's a preference thing, but anyway, let's talk about the sound, which is more important. I love the SA6 Mark II, and I find that, again, to me, it just sounds better than the DK-3001. Again, it sounds like more natural, okay? You get the mid-bass, okay? And it's a BA woofer, so it's actually one of the best BA implementations you're going to find. So you're getting the BA bass, but it's a very nice BA bass, one of the best. And it sounds kind of close to a dynamic driver. But the mid-range doesn't have that cramped up feeling I'm talking about. It doesn't feel squeezed. It feels natural. It feels spacious sounding. Again, natural. That's the word I'm looking to. It's natural sounding. It's not as highlighted as the BD, like the brain dance, but it's a very natural, it's a very organic sound. And the treble, man, is just amazing. It's still airy, still has the sparkle, still has the shimmer, but it's not, you know, boosted or not emphasized, and I don't get any sibilance with the SA6 Mark II, and I don't feel fatigue when I listen to it. Just, I get goodness, you know? QDC style tuning that's impressive. It stood the test of time, and they just keep releasing iteration after iteration just to show how good it is, and I prefer it even over the ESD version. If I had to choose one, I would choose the Mark II, and I prefer that so much. The mid-range is just fuller, richer. The mid-bass is just giving me that craving I'm looking forward to, and it's just much better to my taste, and I never felt fatigued when I listened to it. The last comparison I will do is the Sennheiser IE600. Now, this comparison could be close because let's talk about it, okay? The i600 is a bit more aggressive V-shaped. There's a much more focus on the bass and the treble. It's much more fun, so take that for as you will, but still it's not something I listen to, at least without EQ. Could be aggressive, the treble's too much, but the bass is very enjoyable. And you can see here the DK-3001 doesn't have the mid-bass of the i600, but it's not as V-shaped, and it's a bit, you know, a bit more chill, you know, so you can listen to it easier. You will not get the fatigue I get there, but I have to say I love the bass of the i600 much more. It's very fun, it's very enjoyable, but for everything else I would choose the DK-3001. Let's go to the section where I recommend this. Who do I recommend this to? Well, let me just be straight. I recommend this for people who like the fun, exciting type of sound signature that this is, because it's an exciting, fun sound. If you like a lot of focus on the sub bass, a lot of focus on the upper treble, this is going to be just great for your taste. I recommend this also for people who just like the planar quality treble, that fast response, you know, that snappy transients, that resolution. People who want a very resolving IM like this one, you're going to get it here. That's probably it. You know, I don't recommend this to. This is also important. I don't recommend this for people who are like me, who are treble sensitive. Watch out for this one. This has a boosted treble, so might be not for you. And I don't recommend it, of course, for bass heads or bass lovers, or people who just want a bit more mid-bass, or people who like a fuller sound mid-range. This mid-range here sounds kind of lean, so keep that in mind. And that's it, guys. Let's give this the final rating. I will give this a 4-star out of 5. It definitely has a lot of good stuff going on for it. It has great sub bass, palpable, tactile. It has a transparent, clean, very resolving mid-range. And it has a lot of detail and shimmer and crisp in the upper treble. Definitely a lot of shimmer, a lot of sizzle up top. And it's a very resolving IM as well. So comes with a nice package of accessories. And the level of detail, I feel, is actually matches the price. But still could use a bit more mid-bass, and it could use a bit more space in the mid-range itself. And the treble could be a bit toned down, just, you know, to make it easier to listen to and a bit more relaxing listen. And that's it, guys. That concludes our review of the DUNU DK-3001 BD. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.